And now issue 53. This looks like door sill on the passenger side with some more wiring, some zip ties. These look like coolant lines or something. Door sill on the passenger side. Okay, so with an AP screw, we want to join those two coolant lines, like so. This is how a lot of the exhaust went together in the engine bay, the tubing around the engine. There we go. That's pretty good. We're going to put our coolant lines into here. There's a little notch up under the dash, right there. Little notch to catch that, and then it will snap into some. There's a hole right there that goes into the further back holes there. Okay. So it goes into a further back hole here, and one about there, So there are two holes there, but then to get these to line up, it fits in very nicely just with kind of the pressure, but we will attach it with some screws. Those are FP screws. Do have to be careful. I think this will rest just on the seats, so I think we're okay. Do some FP screws. There we can see it's nicely flush with the bottom of the car, with the bottom of the floorboard there. Nice little detail, I like it. And now the door sill with 3 FP screws. Nothing to attach to the door sill, but goes this way. Goes inside all 3 of those. Get an FP screw. That's the door sill, and we do have some wiring that will tuck in just inside the door sill. So we will zip tie 1, 2, 3 black pieces and the multicolored, and we will put all the gray bits all on one end. All the gray bits on one end. These wiring bits are some of the least satisfying parts of the whole project, I think, because they just really don't find perfect places to go. This one, I believe, will go up in here. And again, they want us to loosen the previous wire tamer and use that. Make sure that the gray bits are going towards the back of the car. Make sure that I've got enough distance on these before I fold them under. When we screw these screws multiple times into the plastic, it's very easy to strip them out, so be careful with that. But we do have our wires. I'm going to just flip this zip tie backwards so that it's a little more hidden down in there. And there we go. There we go. You've got your coolant line and your wiring. We'll tuck them all in here. I think having them tucked up in the footwell here, tight up in the footwell, is probably a good idea. And that is it for issue 53. And now issue 54 of our Back to the Future DeLorean. Bulkhead, cylinder, pipes. Here's the junction box. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of microscopic work again. We're supposed to separate out on the driver's side. Those are these wires right here. These sure seem like I need a lot more length. Get a little more length here. A little more length there. Those sure seem like they should be a lot longer. So I'm gonna have to be creative here. Some reds and some blacks. 2 black, 3 red. Okay, let's get these into the bulkhead. We're going to put them through the bulkhead there and then bend them over on this back side. Bend them over a little bit to keep them there. So let's do that with the wires we have. These are spares from a previous step, and they should bend over. And then from here, probably bend downward like that. They just barely fit through these holes. Try to fold them over to make sure they don't pull out. Again, this might be a good moment for some glue. We'll crisscross them behind to try to keep them there. So there we have them on the back, they're crisscrossed. And on the front, they all kind of go downward. Now all these we will tuck into the next to the driver's seat. That's where they should have gone. To give myself a little bit of length, but those should go by the driver's seat. And this will attach here with a P-screw. These little wires sure seem to get in the way. Onto the bulkhead there. We're going right there with the AP screw. And there we go, and those wires will tuck just next to the driver's seat. And this whole bulkhead will go here. These wires go outside. A lot of these wires go up above. And all the tunnel wires go through this tunnel. All the tunnel wires are the real wires, and all the ones on the sides of the seats are the fake wires. So all the fake wires go upward, but the real tunnel wires end up going through that tunnel. And these end up going around the outside here. Let's go out. And we will attach this bulkhead. I guess there is a notch here for these. I'm sure it does not seem quite wide enough for the tunnel. It really takes some doing to get this to sit there, because I think there are little notches there for that. Make sure not to pinch any wires. And then I think we're going to catch these 4 screws. These are FP screws. We'll just get all 4 started first. All those wires should go through that notch. Make sure none of these are pinched. Now, all these wires are coming up. We can lean these seats forward as we work with these wires. But I'm basically going to tuck these wires down out of the way, because they really should have been underneath. Trim them back a bit. I think what I'll do is tuck them under and pinch them under this connection. Let this go upward just a hair. Okay, so since I had to replace those wires, I have now tucked those underneath, and they will get pinched under here in order to basically not have a frayed end there to make that too obvious. So now go ahead and pinch those down. Some of these wires definitely could be longer. They only give you an extra ½ inch, and then it's not entirely clear where you need that ½ inch. And then I've trimmed these back so they are not really much in trouble, and it looks like those wires are going where they're supposed to, which is next to the driver's seat. Okay, we've got all 4 of those attached. Now we're going to attach the fire extinguisher onto this plate, and that's with AP screws. Nice little detail there. Now we attach the 2 pipes. They do have a little notch index, and those are attached on the back side with some AP screws. like so. Let's get this first one on. Okay, get it so it's snug. Get it nice and snug there. And now one of the little notches is for one of these connectors that's coming through the main transmission tunnel. Okay, 49G is the wire we're supposed to use. It is this wire with the black square end piece. It's coming here by the driver's seat right here. So we will put that in there, and then I think our box ends up over here. But we're going to plug that wire in to the side of it. It's one of these decorative wires. Tuck the wire in there before we attach it to the... I have to bring it up and make it do a little right angle here. And we'll capture it right there as we attach it there. So that wire is going into the box. Then we flip it over, we'll do AP screws. These parts go together pretty well because they do have like alignment. So each of these screws has a little, each of these screw holes has a little cylinder, and it helps it align. And so that is very helpful. And there you can see the wire going in the side, and it's attached to this bulkhead behind the seats. And I think we're going to do something else with the black here at a later stage. So far, so good. And that is it for 54. Now we're on to step 55 of the Back to the Future DeLorean. Black sticker perhaps. Speakers. Bulkhead hatch. Adhesive sticker. This we're going to attach speakers in. You can line them up with the notch. And then we use AP screw. There's one. Ooh, so I did get lucky. I thought those were both speaker holes, but only this one was, but I got lucky. I did the right one. This one is actually a little decorative box. And that is missing. So actually we can place the other speaker. The other speaker will go in here, and we'll catch it from the back with an AP screw. Okay, so that speaker is attached there. And now, since we don't have the switches, so we are missing this switchboard with the colorful switches, and we'll attach that with BP screws. So that goes here. We attach that with an AP screw. Switchboard attached right by the speaker. Now this gets attached behind the seat. Those items on the outside of the car. So there, like so. And we use BP screws. Okay, we have our speaker and our switchboard there. And we already added the other speaker. And we're just adding this covering so it kind of hides those screws. That is this sticker, and it just covers those screws there. And there we go. I'm not sure quite the purpose of that, but it's there. And that is it for issue 55. And now we're on to issue 56 of Back to the Future DeLorean. Looks like a circuit board, at least a power distribution board, maybe the main one for the whole car, with some adapter cables. As you can see, there's numbers on all those. Nothing on that side, but a bunch of numbers to connect. And we're matching up those cables. Okay, we have a number 1 that goes in the number 1. We have a number 2. We have a number 3. So far so good. 1, 2, 3. Into 1, 2, 3. There is a 4, but we will start skipping some numbers here. It's a 4. We have a 7. So jump over to, we have a 20. If we flip around the other direction, we have a 20. And we have a 21. 20 and 21. And we have, back to the other side, we have a 13. So 13 in the 13, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the matching spots, 20 and 21 in the matching spots. This board is getting attached behind the seat. Oh, and that's why we needed to cover up those screws, because we didn't want any of those touching the back of that circuit board and short circuiting. So these are FP screws. And we want that's why we covered this up, is we don't want the metal of those screws touching the board. And we're going to mount the board like so, with the white connector in the upper right. We're going to mount the board like so. Okay, now that we have this board here, we are supposed to put, there is a number 5 connector that is finding the number 5 slot. There is a 18. 18 is finding the 18 slot. And it is showing the yellow toward the 18 number, and that's how we've connected it. There is a number 17. 17 that goes to the number 17 slot. There is a number 14. And it verifies that the yellow is towards the 14 number, and here the white is towards the 17 number. And I think that's it for this stage. There's still a big connector, which probably connects there. But that's not until a later stage. But we did use up all the other connectors. And it does not have us attach that connector just yet. And that is it for issue 56.